Hello, my name is Adela, and today I will speak to you about the value of artificial intelligence and natural language processing in our project Edain. In the beginning was the Word. Think about this sentence, about this idea. In the beginning was the Word. Explore its implications and its power. Now please join me in an anthropological exercise. In Christian cosmogony, the origin of the universe, light is separated from darkness through the usage of the word, fiat lux, let there be light. In Hindu cosmogony, consciousness comes into existence again through the usage of the word, the mantra Om, which encapsulates the entire value of consciousness in the human existence. Across the world, from generation to generation, knowledge is transmitted and transferred through the usage of the word, either spoken or written. This is why the word is the first act of creation. For each and every one of us, from the individual level, through to our families, to our communities, to our societies, when we speak, we actually begin creating. Until the act of speech, our ideas and our thoughts are intimate and are unknown to the other. We learn from Wittgenstein that language is an asset of communities of practice. What does this mean? This means that the way we use words is a social convention. We agree, sometimes explicitly, sometimes implicitly, that words mean what they mean just because we use them in a certain way. Let's take as an example Wittgenstein's famous dilemma about the color green. How can I make sure that the green that I see with my eyes and I represent in my head is the same green that you see and you represent in your head? Wittgenstein was not able to solve this dilemma, and he said that there's just this social conventional disagreement that green denotes a certain color that we both see without having access to actually what we see in our heads. This same dilemma, in the end, applies to human-machine interaction. Now, in the advent of artificial intelligence, the fourth industrial revolution, natural language processing is our only access to artificial intelligence. Natural language pertains to how people interact and speak to each other in their original cultural settings. Better to call them cultural than natural, because culture is constructed by the way we interact with each other. Processing in natural language processing, on the other hand, refers to all the technological efforts that we make in the fourth industrial revolution to help machines understand human language. This is valuable in the development of AI, which is larger than natural language processing, because naturally and culturally and of course politically, language is equally a repository of knowledge and an active creation of knowledge. Each time that we speak, we actually create information, we create data, we transmit knowledge, and by the way we use this knowledge, we can also create wisdom. Imagine that at the beginning of 2020, the number of bytes in the digital universe, so digital alone, not print, not analog, was 40 times larger than the number of stars in the observable universe. This is such a large number that it's hard for us cognitively, it's hard for our brains to grasp. So this is one of the first reasons why we need artificial intelligence in the global setting that we actually live in today. So how do we connect artificial intelligence to this unprecedented volume of information or of data? Depends how you look at it. We do so by creating knowledge ontologies. The first aim of natural language processing, next, so it's equally important, next to helping machines understand human language, is to create categories of information, categories of knowledge, by formally representing what we know about the world in categories of concepts, and most importantly, through the relationships that form between these concepts and these categories. So in a very Cartesian way, what we do with natural language processing is that we teach an artificial intelligence that the world is structured in a certain way. And once we are successful in helping an artificial brain, quote unquote, to understand these categories, we are one step closer to actually creating a very true and very beautiful ontology or structure of the world in a different repository than our direct experience. One may say that the world today is of an unprecedented complexity. I say, on the other hand, that the world has always been this complex. It's just the revolution and very, very rapid progress of communication technologies that actually allows us access to this complexity. Now we can see, more mediated than before throughout history, how intense communication is from individual to individual, from community to community, bottom up and top down. And our brains are not smart enough. They do not have the cognitive capacity to handle this complexity. This is why, after the development of articulated language, the invention of written signs, the invention of the printing press, the three revolutions, cultural revolutions before, now we have the fourth revolution, technological and industrial, which comes as a very, very strong necessity for us humans to understand the world that we live in. As such, artificial intelligence is actually a computerized simulation of human brain, of human intelligence. Through the wise usage of artificial intelligence and natural language processing, we can actually start today a paradigm shift in knowledge management. Throughout our recent history, think of the last 100 years, knowledge has been stored in written format, in books, in archives, in newspapers, in printed press in general. This has created up to today a vertical knowledge that has become more and more difficult or more and more challenging to access. And this challenge is due to the fact that the more we speak through mediated communication, through mediated means, the more noise we produce in the world. And this noise is mixed with what we call horizontal knowledge, the things that we learn from social media, from newspapers, from even gossip by the side of the road. The intersection of vertical knowledge and horizontal knowledge can be explored today through several means, and artificial intelligence in the fourth industrial revolution is the most inviting. Still, for us to be successful in these endeavors, we need to train our own critical thinking before developing an artificial intelligence. We need to be able ourselves to understand how the world functions, how it is constructed, and how it evolves as it does in near real time. And only then we will be able to create a truly authentic and objective artificial intelligence. Let's consider the concept of explainable artificial intelligence. Until today, the industry has developed artificial intelligence models that are actually black boxed. We do not have access as users to how these intelligences develop, how they function in their specialization or their more general aim. In explainable AI, a user such as myself or such as you would be able to understand how that intelligence actually works in relationship with the world itself, or in relationship with data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. C+8 technology that we use within Edain project is a knowledge ontology that can revolutionize the field of knowledge management through the fact that it aims at being exhaustive. And once it is exhaustive, it means that it has the capacity to grasp the complexity of the world that we spoke about previously beyond the cognitive capacities of a human brain. This is where the strength of Edain project actually lies. Thank you very much for your attention. Next, I will hand it over to Ovidiu Toma, CEO of Cryptodata.